Welcome back to another episode of Falcon Update. I'm Marie Miller.
And I'm PJ Rydell. Thank you as always for joining us on Yellow Breeches Television.
It certainly has been a busy week on campus with SGA, MCC, and several other clubs, acronym clubs, hosting events around campus.
That's right, Marie. And from dances to presentations and even to magazines, there were a lot of opportunities to learn something new. And that trend continued today with the Arts Invasion. The walk to class in the mornings isn't always the most exciting, but the Arts Invasion certainly made for some excitement for students' commutes. Here are some of the highlights from the day as music improv sessions serenaded students walking about Alumni Plaza, a handful of choreographed dances took place right in the middle of the green space, putting the space to good use for all to see, and some students tried their hand at clay sculpting all day outside of Fry Hall. If you liked today and you wanted to see more about some of the different Arts Invasion events, you can stay up to date with it at YBTV for any upcoming concerts, art galleries, and more.
Students got to hear the Word of God at last week's night chapel, just maybe in a different tongue. La Alianza Latina organized a chapel where the entire service was in Spanish. Students either had the chance to worship in their native tongue or learn some new vocabulary, but there were English translations on the screen for those who needed it. Hailing from Colombia, Pastor Ramirez Gomez shared a sermon on how change starts with one person.
For these language chapels, they are so important because they add more color, really honestly, to the ministries portion, and we would love to evaluate and express that more on our campus. We had a Chinese chapel last year. It went fantastic. Now we're starting with the Spanish chapel, and who knows, can we make this a regular thing? I really do hope so.
SGA, along with the Multicultural and International Student Program, hosted an educational presentation about F1 visas from 4 to 6 o'clock. Parmer Cinema had students eager to have their questions answered about F1 visas and their importance. International students had the chance to hear from professionals that went through similar experiences with visas.
So F1 stands for the F1 visa. That is the type of visa that a lot of our international students are on. That gives you permission to enter the United States, and there are many different processes that you need to go through. But the majority of our students here on F1 visas.
After the presentation concluded, students were treated to refreshments and got to participate in a panel discussion to share their experiences as well as ask questions pertaining to visas.
This year's first edition of the Swinging Bridge magazine released on Friday. Some of the articles featured in this month's edition focus on Messiah's visitation policies, leadership council, and the history of the Marshmallow Bowl. The magazine is free and the articles are written by students. If you haven't picked up a copy, you can check out the several magazine stands around campus. The next issue of the Swinging Bridge is set to release on November 4th.
Speaking of the Pulse celebrated World College Radio Day, with this year's theme being Voices for Peace. College radios across the globe aired their radio shows all day, broadcasting songs and messages of peace. The Pulse entertained listeners by broadcasting a poetry reading, declarations of peace, and interviewing our History Club president, also hosted the Vault, Kelly Gainey. Music director Sabrina Stanford orchestrated an international playlist of musical hits to play throughout the hour.
I love World College Radio Day because we just get to celebrate radio stations around the world because radio is not really happening anymore, but this day brings awareness to it and kind of brings it back. So we just get to listen to some radio, listen to music, good music from around the world. So it was a lot of fun.
There's always something happening at the Pulse, and don't forget that you can always find them by tuning your radio to 90.7 FM.
The Sustainability Club hosted their annual Sustainafest this past week. The event offered students opportunities to learn more about recycling, how to create with limited waste, and ways they can help support efforts to make a cleaner environment. There were numerous activities for students to participate in and see how they can make a difference on Messiah's campus.
And I really just want the community to be more involved and think of us less as the people who want to recycle everything and more of the people who are more coming at sustainability at a more holistic process that is ultimately really rewarding to be a part of.
The Sustainability Club is always looking for ways to get involved with their outreach. Make sure you check out their page to see how you can help out.
The Black Student Union and La Alianza Latina teamed up to host a block party dance in the Union.
DJing for the dance was one of Messiah's newest duo, Professor Eric Durden and his wife Justine Diggs.
1, 2, 3.
My name is Eric Durden Jr. I'm one of the new part-time professors of dance here. I started maybe about a month ago. Just kind of jumped into the job, and it's been so much fun ever since. My wife, Justine Diggs, she actually comes here and she volunteers, and she helps me all the time, so you can catch her in class as well. We have been together for about 10 years. We have been dancing professionally together since about 2014. I've danced in like TV shows. I've done a couple extra things when I was younger as well. So it's always a big cool thing. So my favorite dance style is going to be locking. So I've been DJing for about 10 years now. I've just got with a company called Clock Entertainment. We're one of the top DJ companies in the central PA area. I'm an old school guy. My dad was trained from some of the original dancers off an old TV show called Soul Train. So that's one of the main things that I love. I would say y'all got wild today. Like, I normally have people like turn up and go crazy and party and jump and like sing the songs, but like never that crazy. I think it made everybody a little bit more comfortable in the beginning, hearing that I actually work here too. Like once I said that to everybody, they all was like, oh man, what cool, he's the coolest professor ever. I try to be, I don't take that title.
Also this past week, the Caribbean Student Association hosted their second annual Catch the Rhythm dance workshop. Members of the association taught everyone a few dance moves from the Caribbean cultures. There were many moves from the Bahamas, Haiti, Puerto Rico, and more. Students who came out enjoyed learning some of the Caribbean moves and had a great time dancing together. President of the Caribbean Student Association, Catriel Moss, elaborated more on what they're doing and what their passions are. Also coming up, Election Day is on November 8th, which means that there is less than a month before you cast your vote, if you're registered, that is.
But where can you register, and what options are available to college students? Josh McLeaf reports.
The voter registration deadline in Pennsylvania is October 24th, but in some states, that date may be even sooner. So what do you need to fill out before the ballot?
You literally can just Google search college student voting and then the name of your state, and it will come up with a website that will walk you through your different options as a college student. If you're in Pennsylvania, it's vote.pa.gov. You have the option of registering to vote, it's where your permanent address, or you have the option of registering to vote in this district. Typically what you need with you to register to vote, besides just online, is you just need your driver's license.
Congratulations, you're registered to vote, but now how do you know who's on the ballot or who you should vote for?
All you really need to do is just Google, who will be on the ballot in my zip code, and then if you're trying to decide how you want to vote politically because you don't know, there's lots of great websites. There's one that's called I Side With, and it just has a list of here are some top issues, and you put in your response, and it will tell you oh, this political party represents your ideas about the environment, or whatever it might be that's your issue.
So at the end of the day, use your resources, do some research, and
try not to be overwhelmed by the process. Just start small, and you don't have to float through all the candidates, but float through a couple of them, and then just go vote for those.
For YBTV, I'm Josh McLeaf.
Thanks, Josh. Informative as always. SAB will also be hosting a voter registration event on Wednesday, October 12th, where students can register to vote and learn more about the voting process in the Union from 10 to 11 a.m.
Safety Day will also be held on Wednesday. Students can learn about vehicle safety, fire safety, sexual assault prevention, and other topics, while enjoying free food and door prizes. The event will be held from 3:30 to 6 p.m. outside of the Union.
Still ahead on Falcon Update, can Reed Milliken dance? We'll find out in this week's Bird's Eye View.
And Kelly Gainey will bring us more Messiah history from the vault. Keep it right here on YBTV. back to Falcon Update on YBTV. Tonight, we have what might be the 8th wonder of the world, footage of Reed Milliken taking a hip-hop dance class.
I've been waiting all week for this one. Let's check it out in this week's Bird's Eye View.
Hi, I'm Reed Milliken with YBTV. Today on Bird's Eye View, I'm going to be taking a hip-hop dance class in Pollock Studio. In Pollock Dance Studio.
Look at him go.
My name is Eric Durton Jr. I am one of the new part-time professor here. I'm a professor of dance. I teach jazz 302 and 102. My main goal here is just to kind of give them a big vocabulary and a big understanding of vernacular jazz, Lindy Hop and swing, and pretty much how it leads up to hip-hop today. The way that we do hip-hop is a little bit different than what everybody thinks on TV or on social media, and it has a big lineage and a big connection to Lindy Hop and swing and a lot of the party dances from the 1920s. So my main goal is just to kind of showcase that, make sure that everybody has a whole bunch of fun, and just see what the environment is when it comes to hip-hop. We're all about love, community, and just coming together and having a good time in a party. Anytime it gets too violent, we like to step away from that. We just want to party and have a good time.
This has been Bird's Eye View. I'm Reed Milliken. Thanks for watching.
Reed, we cannot thank you enough. This is the week before fall break, and we want to know what students have planned.
Rosie Schiano has this week's Falcon on the Street.
I'm this week's Falcon on the Street reporter, Rosie Schiano, and today we're asking Messiah students what they're doing over fall break.
Hi, I'm Connor, and I'm going to Pittsburgh with my fiance over fall break.
I'm going home. Yo, it's good. So for fall break, I'm gonna go do some college touring, visit some people, and then I'm gonna go get another haircut.
I'm going to my 2-year-old niece's birthday party.
Hi, I'm Ari, and on my fall break, I'm gonna go home and relax, do some homework, and just chill with my family.
Hi, I'm Kayla. Over fall break, I am going home, relaxing, and seeing my family and working.
Watching a ton of football and just hanging out with my friends while they're here. My high school friends coming back for their fall break too. So we'll be sitting around because we're all in fantasy football leagues together, so it's gonna be a fun time.
For fall break, I'm gonna go home, hang out with my family, and I'm gonna watch my brother play some soccer, and just kind of relax and work on my research paper.
Work and hang out with family and friends.
That's it for this episode of Falcon on the Street. For YBTV, I'm Rosie Schiano.
Thanks, Rosie.
Now, I don't know about you, but I'm trying to avoid doing homework on fall break. But speaking of fall and fall break, the weather's starting to get a lot colder, which I'm not a fan of. But the trees are changing color, and I can take that.
Yeah, it's been absolutely beautiful on campus. I just can't wait for that one tree outside Eisenhower called a ginkgo tree. It loses all of its leaves at once. All of them fall down. So I kind of want to catch that. I want to time it right.
You'll have to show me which one you're talking about, because I have no idea what a ginkgo tree is. But anyway, Josh McLeaf has the Falcon forecast today. Josh?
Marie, PJ, we are coming off of a crisp, cool fall weekend. We actually saw our first frost advisory in parts of Pennsylvania as we drop down into the 30s at different points over the weekend. But we will see some warmer temperatures this week. So we're looking at the temperature right now. It's about 60 degrees on the campus of Messiah. We will drop down to 37 tonight as we move into Tuesday morning, but it will start to warm up a little bit here. So we'll look at our forecast for the rest of the week. We're looking at a high of 73 tomorrow and a low of 46. Clear skies, and then again, pretty similar conditions on Wednesday besides some clouds. We have a high of 71 and a low of 60. But then if you look at Thursday, we are expecting there to be some showers. We're about 100% chance of rain all day on Thursday. Nothing too extreme, no thunderstorms, anything like that. But temperature is still going to be fairly warm. Just keep an eye out on those showers. Now look at Friday. You can see that we actually cooled down a little bit. So it's sunny, but it's 62-degree high and a low of 39. So that is the beginning of some cooler air that starts to move in from the north and affect our parts of the East Coast. And so that's going to bring us a very similar weekend to what we just had on Saturday and Sunday. So we're going to have a high of 63 and a low of 46 on Saturday. And then Sunday, we do have a chance of some AM showers. We have a high of 65, though, and a low of 49. Now, one other thing I do want to talk about, we have this foliage map of Pennsylvania. This is provided by the Pennsylvania Department of Conservation and Natural Resources. We are in Cumberland County, so we are right here. And as you can see, according to this key, our trees are just now starting to change colors. So you may see some different splotches of red or orange or yellow, but we're not in our full peak color season like a lot of these northern counties up here. So that will start to happen probably next week or the week after that as we kind of see those leaves change. Unfortunately, it is the week before fall break, so you might miss some of those major changes happening over the next week or two. And then as we move in the next week, we will see a major cool down on campus. We'll see highs really no higher than the upper 50s. So fall is definitely coming and winter is on the way as well. That's it for this week's Falcon Forecast. I'm sending it back to the desk.
Thanks as always, Josh. I find it ironic that as the rest of the state changes from green, we decided to actually wear green. A little late to the trend. Now it's time to unlock some more Messiah history.
Kelly Gainey joins us from the vault.
Welcome back to this week's episode of The Vault, where I unlock Messiah's history 1 week at a time. I'm your host, Kelly Gainey. This week, we are back to learn more about the House of Hostetter. Following his father's footsteps, C.N. Hostetter Jr. would rise to Messiah president in 1934. Jr. was well-versed in leadership, starting as a superintendent for his church's Sunday school at only the age of 19. He became an ordained minister and attended Messiah College from 1916 to 1921. He was not only a pastor, but also a businessman and made a life by selling peanut butter. When he entered his Messiah office, Jr. had two main goals: to heighten student morale and to enforce discipline. He appointed himself as the faculty advisor for many key student organizations on campus, and he enforced student prayer services on Tuesdays. He also wrote a new student handbook and set up a better recruitment system and public advertisement. Jr. was an ambitious man. He taught 5 classes and served on 13 committee boards outside of his presidential duties. After close to 30 years of service, Jr. thought it best to retire while still in good health to allow him more time to focus on what was important to him. That's all for this week. Make sure to tune in next week for when I unpack the history of the only president to be born right here on campus, Arthur Climenhaga.
Thanks, Kelly. Up next, PJ's favorite part of the show, sports.
Emma Dingus will join me for the highlights. The Falcon 4 is coming at you right after this break.
The new athletic training curriculum at Messiah College is a 5-year accelerated program that results in completion of a bachelor's in applied health science with a concentration in pre-athletic training and a master's of science in athletic training.
When I was introduced to the athletic training program at Messiah, I knew right away that it was going to be the right fit for me. There was just so much support and so much interest in me as an individual, and that community was really something special.
I think a student should be interested in studying this program, particularly at Messiah, largely because of the people that we have. Students are going to formally participate in case studies and case reviews, and there's also opportunities for collaboration with the faculty.
My friendship with the program director, Dr. Matt Lewis, has supported my journey as a Christian, as an athletic trainer, and as a scientist.
We are passionate about our students, and we're also passionate about the profession of athletic training.
A student would want to study the finance major here at Messiah for several reasons. Students here are working and practicing in a setting in our finance lab with technology that they're going to use when they leave here and work in the field. And so our students are certified in Bloomberg. In addition, in several classes, our students are actually performing consulting projects with local financial and investing firms.
I think the biggest thing that surprised me about coming for the finance major here was just the scope that you get in all the different classes. So anything from corporate finance to portfolio management and security analysis, you touch on everything. Getting into investment club was something I really was looking forward to coming here to Messiah. I knew from very early on I wanted to get involved.
There's nothing wrong with going out, being successful, making money, but not allowing money to have a higher place in your life than God. So our goal is to get our students started off on their career path quicker and better positioned than any of their peers.
Welcome back to Falcon Update right here on YBTV, here to bring you up to speed on Messiah Athletics. I'm Emma Dingus.
And I'm PJ Rydell. However, before we get into Messiah sports and the excitement that our highlights have, we do want to extend our condolences to our brothers at York College. Rivals on the field, brothers off the pitch, the Spartans men's soccer team sadly lost a teammate, brother, and friend. Junior Drew Rolecki passed away on Saturday, October 8th. He played in 25 games for the Spartans, 11 coming this season, and he had just earned his first collegiate career start just last Wednesday. We at YBTV want to extend our sincerest condolences and prayers to the families, friends, and entire York College community during this extremely difficult time. The Falcons and Spartans will play tomorrow night at Shoemaker Field, the first game for the Spartans since Rolecki's passing, after their game last Saturday was canceled. In Messiah sports news and campus news, we reported last week about the Warmer Welcome campaign to improve Messiah's athletics facilities. This week, our very own Caleb Kukin explains the campaign a little bit further.
Starry Fields is getting an upgrade to give athletes and fans a warmer welcome for athletic events.
The Warmer Welcome project was brought forward by donors, members of the board who are really excited about enhancing the experience for fans and for student athletes during our athletic contests. We're really excited about having some facilities and locker rooms, restrooms, concessions out by our fields, a little bit closer than the Sollenberger Sports Center here on the other side of campus.
The centerpiece of the project will provide quicker access to locker rooms, concessions, and bathrooms for everyone.
Chosen as the starting point, I think, for some of these projects, just its proximity to all of our facilities on the other side. You know, yes, you said between Shoemaker and Anderson Field, short walk from the lacrosse turf. That was a recent addition within the last 10 years or so. Chris tennis courts, also very close by. Baseball and softball, a little bit further away. Falcon Hut is going to still be in its place currently. There's also going to be new lacrosse stands, some new seating at softball, as well as new dugouts for baseball. So a pretty wide-ranging project for our sports facilities on the other side of campus.
A project of this magnitude is going to require some help.
I think certainly the funding piece is a big one when you come down to a project in the size and scope of something like this. They're in the final leg of fundraising for this project and hopefully getting a shovel in the ground probably in the next year or so. And then hopefully within 2 years have a project completed and be able to enjoy this at all the outdoor facilities.
Get ready because Starry Field is about to look a little different soon. For YBTV, I'm Caleb Kukin.
Thanks, Caleb. The Falcons provided a lot of highlights this week, but we managed to narrow them down to just 4 for this week to kick off this week's Falcon 4. We head out to Shoemaker Fields where the men's soccer team opened conference play on Wednesday versus Stevenson University. Already leading 2-0, the Falcons tacked on another with this sequence in the second half. The Falcons steal the ball back, pass it across the middle to Trevor Schwartz, who is there to pop it up for Cole Christian to finish it with the header. In this replay, you'll be able to see how Schwartz is able to draw the goalie to the far left side to leave the goal open for Christian. Christian's goal was his fifth on the year as the Falcons crushed to a 4-0 win On Saturday, they claimed yet another 4-0 win over Alvernia, improving to an impressive 11-0-1 record on the season as they look to take York College tomorrow night.
Switching over to the hardwood in Hitchcock Arena, women's volleyball has run into a little bit of trouble as of late after a hot start, but that doesn't mean that the highlights have stopped for the team. As we take a look at this recent highlight from this week, Falcons receiving the serve, and they initially go with a soft attempt there instead of going for a spike, but Widener manages to counter. Then instead, after the soft didn't work, they'll hit it a little bit harder this time when Lobritas gets the kill. And as we take a look at the replay here, look at the way that Lobritas fakes like she's going right and then she goes left. No time to catch up for Widener. As the Falcons earn the point there, they would win that specific set, but the Falcons would unfortunately drop this match 3-1 ultimately to the Pride. But the struggles continued into the weekend as well, as the current 4-game skid drops the Falcons to a 14-6 record on the season. With 7 games left, here's to hoping they can rebound.
Back on the turf, Messiah's women's soccer also opened conference play against Stevenson and made quick work of the Mustangs with 5 goals in the first half, one of them off the head of Rachel Turgeon. So Julia Martin takes it down the field. She passes it in the middle to Turgeon, who's there to put it in with the header. In the replay, you're able to see just Martin's accuracy to be able to place the ball up for Turgeon to jump up and hit it right into the back of the goal. Turgeon continues to lead the team in goals with 7 on the season, and the Falcons claim the 6-0 win in this one. They're 10-0-2 on the season, still undefeated, as they look to host York College on Wednesday.
For our final play of the Falcon 4 this week, we hit the road with the field hockey team as they traveled to Eastern University for a battle of the birds. But the Falcons reigned victorious over the Eagles, scoring early and often. Here in the third quarter, Ashlyn Smith and Michaela Malcolm provide our final highlight of the evening. As we go to the highlight here in Eastern, the Falcons work it down the far sideline. Getting the pass into the middle is Ashlyn Smith. Smith passes it off to Malcolm, and Malcolm puts that one in to make it 6-0 at the time in the third. Let's take a look at the replay. Look at the way that Malcolm pops it up and then immediately recovers a baseball-esque swing. And that's tricky with field hockey. It's really easy to get called for a penalty like that, but she keeps it legal, and she puts it in great hand-eye coordination by Malcolm. The goal by Malcolm made it 6-0 at the time. Falcons will go on to tack on one more to win 7-0 on the road. Malcolm's goal is her 4th of the year as the Falcons improved to 9-2 on the season, another great season for them so far. And they'll travel to York for another conference rivalry game on Wednesday night.
Well, that's a wrap on our Falcon 4 highlights and YBT Sports for the evening.
Thank you, as always, for watching Falcon Update. But just because Falcon Update is over doesn't mean we're done yet. Coming up right after the break, our host Riley Williams brings us YB Tonight. And I've heard she's got some great guests, as always, this week. Don't go anywhere. YB Tonight is next, right here on YBTV.
We don't want our students to feel like they have to wait until they've graduated to start serving and meeting the needs of society. So we want students to have an opportunity to work on projects that meet real needs even while they're students in the program. Messiah students are exciting to work with because they understand that God has uniquely gifted them to do something, and they're excited to follow Him in that and to follow Him in their careers.
One of my best moments as a student here at Messiah was when I was traveling to Mexico with a collaboratory.
The collaboratory's business model is that it pairs student teams with either faculty mentors or outside professionals to work on systems that either care for the earth or help disadvantaged people around the world.
I learned so many amazing things about just cultural differences and how to adapt and work alongside, not just how to help someone else, but how to empower them to further their lives and also advance my academics in the process. So that is by far one of my favorite memories from Messiah.
So people ask me what kind of companies hire electrical and computer engineers. Basically, if you plug it in or it has a battery in it, electrical engineers were involved. Every Messiah engineering student is guaranteed an internship with an on-campus organization called the Collaboratory. The Collaboratory's business model is that it pairs student teams with either faculty mentors or outside professionals to work on systems that either care for the earth or help disadvantaged people around the world. One of our more successful projects is a project that involves facilitating use of limited electric power called EMMS.
So I am the student project manager of the MMS team, and so what that means is that I head up a team of students and industry volunteers who are developing a system that makes it possible for schools and medical clinics to be able to efficiently share their limited solar power resources. Just the faculty and the way that they interact with the students to help them grow is such a powerful thing.
Good evening, Messiah, and welcome to YB Tonight. I'm your host, Riley Williams. Tonight, we'll have a performance by McKenna Brown, who will be performing a song that she wrote by herself. After that, we'll be interviewing Tyler Badinger, the leader of Young Life. Stay with us. We'll be right back to YB Tonight.
Forests bring people together, feed the soul, and improve our well-being, cleaning the water we need, the air we breathe, and making our climate livable. Fires and natural disasters devastate our forests each year. That's why the Arbor Day Foundation is working to replant millions of trees across the country. Visit arborday.org and see how you can help.
So when earning a Bachelor of Science in Engineering at Messiah, you can choose to concentrate in either environmental, computer, electrical, biomedical, civil, or mechanical engineering. You may also choose to not declare a concentration. Mechanical engineers are intimately involved in designing and building machines that make the stuff that we all use every day. They're also being mentored by professionals that serve as player coaches on their team.
The Collaboratory's business model is that it pairs student teams with either faculty mentors or outside professionals to work on systems that either care for the earth or help disadvantaged people around the world.
Our students leave here with some of the kinds of experience that most people don't get until their first year or two of employment.
Our environmental engineering students at Messiah are working on water distribution system in Vanuatu, water treatment in Nicaragua, aquaponics in West Africa, and then a couple different projects on well drilling, well maintenance, and well monitoring in West Africa.
Biomedical engineering is the combination of human health,
with the rigor and the desire to solve problems in engineering. We have students from day one on campus get involved in hands-on projects where you take what you learn in the classroom and apply it to real patients.
The collaboratory project that I'm involved with is the Panama Bridge project. It's unique to other projects in that it has a 1-year time frame. So from the time that you travel down to the site to survey data to the time where the bridge is finished being built is 1 year.
I knew that I wanted to come to a Christian college to continue to grow in my faith, and Messiah had a really awesome community experience for me. I love just having the opportunity to have relationships with my professors and stop in their office in the afternoon and just catch up about life.
So to be honest, I didn't quite know that Messiah was the right fit for me until I ended up coming here. Just the faculty and the way that they interact with the students to help them grow is such a powerful thing here.
It's about service and living Christ's leadership through our actions. That's really important, and what I think the collaboratory does a really good job being intentional about.
Stand by. Forward.
Welcome back to YB Tonight. I'm Riley Williams. McKenna will be performing one of her original songs for us on the guitar. Take it away, McKenna.
There's a cold breeze and a warm chill. These remind me I can still feel only on my lake and lonely nights. One foot in front of the other. As I walk, yet again I discover that we're all in want of each other. There's a void, it's nothing new to uncover on my lake and lonely nights. Only on my lake and lonely nights. Thank you.
That was amazing. Right now we have to take a short break, but when we come back, we'll sit down with McKenna and chat a little bit more about her musical talents.
My name is Nathan Sims. I'm a junior at Messiah, and I'm a double major in both film and media arts and Spanish. I grew up making films as a kid. I saw that Messiah had a film program, and so when I visited, I just thought this is the perfect fit. Both the theory and practical considerations here have really increased my skill set, not just in a technical sense, but also from a theoretical perspective as well. I think the biggest piece that I'll add to my portfolio before I graduate is the final film for the junior and senior film project. That'll probably be my crowning achievement because I'm working with so many other artists and other film majors, and it's just been a really great opportunity so far. I think I'm most excited to use skills I've learned in documentary class. I have to make ethical decisions in every step of the process to really come up with a strong and truthful way to tell someone else's story. I think my professors have done a really great job of being strong examples for what combining your faith and your ethics with an art form like film, what that looks like. And so the interactions have almost always been positive because they're really invested in what their students are learning. One of my most valuable experiences was my internship, where I was able to actually apply what I learned in the classroom to the real world, and I think that's a completely invaluable experience. Personally, I did my internship with the Department of Natural Resources in Maryland. One of my favorite experiences at Messiah so far has actually been the Splice Film Festival, which allows students to submit their own personal work, and being able to share the art that I created as well as my fellow classmates was absolutely beautiful. I think the market right now is very open for film and media arts majors. There's a lot of different ways that you can plug in, both at nonprofits, at regular organizations. I worked in the government, and so I think there are absolutely a lot of opportunities.
Welcome back to YB Tonight. I'm Riley Williams here with McKenna Brown. How you doing tonight, McKenna?
All right.
That's good. Glad to hear that. So what inspired you to start singing?
I mean, I've always loved music, and my family's pretty musically inclined, so I just find music like to just be a very good form of just calming down at the end of the day and just listening to it in the car and blasting it. So I just love music for the calmness it can bring, and also the different aspects of it. So yeah, I don't know.
What age did you start writing your own music?
Yeah, so that started when I went to college, actually. I'm from New Jersey, and I went to a community college, and I think I was just it was an emotional time shifting from high school to college. So I just had a lot of emotion, and that's normally what my songs are, is a lot of my emotions just written down. So that's when I started, was college. So
that's awesome. What are some things that inspire you to write your songs? If you could walk me through that process.
Yeah, as I said, emotions are a big thing.
Yeah.
I find that the best songs that I write are just right in the moment. I think of something and I just want to get my thoughts down. So yeah, but I can always it's either happy songs or sad songs and stuff, but mainly it's the melancholy type of songs for me, even though I really like listening to nice and happy songs. But for the most part, it's the emotion and just writing down what you're feeling in the moment. That's kind of how I wrote this song. It was called Late and Lonely Nights. I was just walking on campus last week, and I was just taking a late night walk by myself, and I'm pretty introverted, so I'm kind of okay with being by myself. And I love fall, so the cold didn't bother me. But I saw other people walking late at night too, and I was I wonder if they're feeling the same things that I do. So I just had a lot of thoughts in my head and stuff, and I wrote it down, and then the song.
So you just wrote the song last week then?
Yeah, literally last week.
Wow, that's impressive.
Yeah.
That's impressive. Have there been any musical artists or performers that you look up to?
For the songwriting, I would say Conan Gray, because he's a really good storyteller with his songs. Most of the stuff he writes isn't actually true. He said he's never been in a relationship. I haven't either, so I kind of look up to him for that, because he can just write such beautiful songs and stuff. So yeah.
Yeah, he's pretty awesome. What are some challenges in songwriting that you have faced personally?
Well, sometimes I'll be able to get a couple things written down and stuff, and then I kind of just reach a point where I'm I don't know what else to write down. So I kind of just have to let it settle for a couple of weeks and stuff, and then I end up coming back to it. So yeah, like that's the worst of it. So.
Gotcha. What impact has music had on your life, personally or otherwise?
Well, as I was saying before, it's just like something I always go to just for comfort and for like just calming down at the end of the day and stuff. And my friends always tell me that I have like a coffee shop personality. So I just like, you know, that music that you hear when you go in a coffee shop, that's very much like my setting. So like that's kind of the, like, I guess the inspiration I get is just I want to welcome people in with what I write and my music. So yeah.
Well, I haven't known you very long, but I would be inclined to agree with that.
Oh, thanks.
How has your musical ability changed throughout the years that you've been performing and writing your own music?
Okay, so I've always had the guitar. Like, we always had an acoustic guitar at home, and I would always just pick it up and learn the chords and stuff. But this semester, I'm actually taking private lessons, so I'm trying to like learn how to be more diverse with the music I make, because my like first songs that I wrote were just like basic G chords, C and D, like just those transitions. So like, but I'm learning a lot more now that I'm taking classes. So I'm hoping to progress my songwriting with that too.
Do you play any instruments aside from the guitar?
I used to play piano. I can still like play like 2 memorized songs that I have. I'm mainly like a play by ear kind of person. I'm not good at reading the music. So I very much so am a play by ear. But I did play the oboe in band in high school, so that's cool and everything, and I played the flute. And I had, oh my goodness, I just remembered, I had this electric blue cello, because I went through a phase of just wanting to play the cello.
Blue? Interesting.
Yeah,
so I
learned that for a little bit. It is very vibrant. Yeah, so those are some of the instruments I've played.
Well, that's all the time we have. So thank you for joining us, McKenna. And after the break, we will be back to learn more about the Messiah Young Life Beyond. Don't go anywhere. YB Tonight will be right back.
There's something about the forest. Hiking through the woods, looking up to the treetops. Pitching a tent under the stars. Rising at dawn to chase a brook trout. Forests bring people together. Feed the soul and improve our well-being. Cleaning the air we breathe, the water we need, and making our climate livable. Now more than ever, forests matter. We need them. They need us. Fires and natural disasters devastate our forests each year. That's why the Arbor Day Foundation is working to replant millions of trees across the country. Trees are one thing we can all agree on. The time to act is now, so that generations today and tomorrow can continue to depend on our forests. The forest needs us. Visit arborday.org and see how you can help.
We don't want our students to feel like they have to wait until they've graduated to start serving and meeting the needs of society. So we want students to have an opportunity to work on projects that meet real needs even while they're students in the program. Messiah students are exciting to work with because they understand that God has uniquely gifted them to do something, and they're excited to follow Him in that and to follow Him in their careers.
One of my best moments as a student here at Messiah was when I was traveling to Mexico with a collaboratory.
The collaboratory's business model is that it pairs student teams with either faculty mentors or outside professionals to work on systems that either care for the earth or help disadvantaged people around the world.
I learned so many amazing things about just cultural differences and how to adapt and work alongside, not just how to help someone else, but how to empower them to further their lives and also advance my academics in the process. So that is by far one of my favorite memories from Messiah.
Welcome back, Messiah. I'm Riley Williams, and I'm joined by Tyler Badinger, leader of Young Life Beyond at Messiah. How are you doing tonight, Tyler?
Doing great. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty well. Thanks
Yeah.
for asking. So can you just tell me a little bit about what Young Life Beyond is?
Yeah, so Young Life Beyond is a club on campus that just offers authentic relationship and community, and we teach Messiah students about what Young Life is and what Young Life does in the local community, in the high schools around here, and so we just get to teach them about that and have fun and form those relationships with the students.
It sounds like a lot of fun. What is the mission of Young Life Beyond? I know you kind of said a little bit about what they do.
Yeah, so Young Life's mission is to introduce adolescents to Jesus Christ and to help them grow in their faith. And so what that looks like for Messiah is forming relationships with freshmen and sophomores, and really anybody can come and join. But just forming those relationships, and then we get to train them in the spring and offer them to be volunteer leaders to then go out into high schools like Mechanicsburg High School and Carlisle High School, and then form those relationships with the high school kids to then introduce them to Jesus and give them a proper introduction.
That's awesome. That's really awesome. What can students expect from being a part of Young Life Beyond?
Yeah, we hope that students can expect to be engaged and to have fun and to be involved in an authentic community while they're here at Messiah.
So do you guys have any events planned coming up in the near future that you can tell me about?
Yeah, we meet every Monday night in Mountain View classroom. We meet every Monday night from 9 to 10. Like I said, in the spring we kind of shift our focus into training. Right now it's more community-based, and in the spring we switch to, okay, what does it look like to be a Young Life leader, and how do I do that? And we get to train them in that.
Yeah, maybe I'll join you next week.
Yeah.
What exactly does success look like for the Young Life Club?
If students come and find a community, find authentic relationships, and learn more about how do I follow Jesus while I'm at Messiah? How do I do that? And so if they just get a little bit of that each week, I'd say that's success.
That sounds successful to me. So why exactly did you want to lead Young Life Beyond?
Yeah, I was involved in Young Life as a high schooler, and that's how I accepted Christ into my heart. And so I just think it's a great program, and for me to give back to that, to help high schoolers and adolescents around here. And then I love college students, and I think you guys are great, and I love hanging out with them. And so to mix them both, to hang out with college students, and then also be able to say, like, hey, like, you could do something great while you're at Messiah, and you can go out in the high schools and in the communities and change lives for Christ.
That's really cool. So what would you say to somebody who is thinking of joining Young Life Beyond?
I would say just come and try it out. And like, there's no hard feelings. You can come and join us on Mondays, but and just see if you like it. Again, we love that. We just try to form a great community, and so if you're someone who's looking for a community on campus who hasn't found it yet, I would just say come and try us out.
Well, thank you very much for joining us tonight,
Yeah.
Tyler. It was absolutely wonderful to hear about Young Life Beyond. It definitely sounds like something worth checking out. That's it for this week's episode of YB Tonight. Thank you for watching YBTV, and tune in next Monday at 7 for more. On behalf of myself and the entire YBTV crew, stay classy, Messiah University.